Hi, VencoreWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Tuesday, March 21st. We are now officially into the spring season. However, we have another Arctic blast coming our way for the Mid-Atlantic region. It will become noticeable in the overnight hours, and then especially on Wednesday with strong winds out of the north. Temperatures way below normal for this time of the year, some 15 degrees below normal on Wednesday, and that chill will remain on Thursday. We then rebound nicely on Friday as far as temperatures are concerned, probably back up to the 50s for highs, and then a warm day can be anticipated on Saturday with high temperatures not far from 70 degrees in many parts of the I-95 corridor. However, we then turn colder again during the early part of next week for Sunday and Monday, and that could be accompanied by some rainfall. Another strong high-pressure system will be moving into southeastern Canada by the early part of next week. And that's one of the problems right now we see going forward for the next week or two is strong high-pressure systems will periodically appear in southeastern Canada. And as long as that happens, we will not have sustained warmth going forward. One such high-pressure system will take control of our weather overnight tonight and for the next couple of days, and then another one looks like it'll chill us down again Sunday and Monday of next week after that big warm-up for the day Saturday. Before we get into the local weather situation, I thought I'd focus in on an update on Solar Cycle 24. Posted an article yesterday regarding the fact that the sun has been spotless for the last 2 weeks now, 15 days in a row of a blank sun. We haven't had a stretch like this since April of 2010. This is the current image of the sun. No sunspots at all. And again, this is not too unusual as you proceed from the solar maximum towards the next solar minimum. First of all, Solar Cycle 24 has been a historically weak solar cycle. And not only is it a historically weak cycle, but we are now rapidly approaching the solar minimum phase. So we will have increasing amounts of spotless suns, blank look to the sun over the next couple of years. It looks like the next solar minimum should be reached somewhere around latter part of 2019 or 2020. April 2010, we were just coming out of the last solar minimum, and that was a deep and long one from historical standards. So again, this is the longest stretch of a spotless sun since April of 2010. Well, one more chart here on the solar cycle in comparison to some of the recent solar cycles. This directly from the posting that is out there on the website. It was posted yesterday. We are currently in Solar Cycle 24, right in this region, right down here. Again, headed towards the next solar minimum. It looks like that'll reach a peak or a bottom, as it were, in the latter part of 2019 into 2020. Again, this was a historically weak solar cycle, one of the weakest in 100 years or so since around the solar cycle that peaked in 1906. And this has continued a weakening trend. These are the most recent solar cycles, number 21, 22, and now 23, and now 24. 21 peaked at around 1980, and since then we've really been in a weakening trend of solar cycle activity. Doesn't mean you can't have any solar storms. In fact, there's some evidence that shows during the latter stages of a solar cycle, while it's in a weakening phase headed towards the next solar minimum, there's generally more in the way of solar storm activity. So it certainly doesn't mean the sun cannot produce an impactful solar storm. However, no doubt we're headed to more and more frequent blank sun days, as again, we are currently in the middle of a long stretch, 15 days now. Haven't seen that since April 2010. One other point, and we talked about this quite in detailed fashion in the posting, is when you have longer periods of low solar activity, it has an impact. For one thing, it has an impact on cosmic rays. There's a tendency for more cosmic ray penetration into the Earth's upper atmosphere as the solar wind dies down. And we certainly have some evidence, it's shown in the posting, of an increase in cosmic rays, which in turn leads to a higher stratospheric radiation. In addition, there have been several studies now that point to the possible correlation between an increase in cosmic rays and ultimately an increase in low cloud formation here on Earth, which of course could have a longer term impact on weather and climate. So all of this it can be read in more detail on a posting right now on VencoreWeather.com. Well, let's get back to the local weather conditions and the setup for the next couple of days. Again, the big story, an Arctic blast headed our way. Wednesday and Thursday will be very cold days for this time of the year, way below normal. Right now we have a few showers pushing through New Jersey, east central part of Pennsylvania. Very damp here in the Philadelphia suburbs, and mostly cloudy skies this morning. Could be followed by some brightening this afternoon and mild conditions relative to what we've been used to. Of course, the weekend was very cold. High temperatures well up in the 50s, perhaps touching 60 degrees in the D.C. metro region. Again, a mild day today. However, then an Arctic frontal system passes through the region from the north to the south in the overnight hours. The winds pick up, and it'll become noticeably colder after midnight tonight into the wee hours of the morning, and by daybreak we'll be back down to near 30 degrees in most I-95 corridor locations, and very windy and cold conditions on Wednesday. Not as windy on Thursday, but still quite cold for this time of the year, and then a rebound on Friday. Well, let's take a look at the 06Z GFS model run. This is the current outlook for right now, early Tuesday morning. Again, a few showers here showing up in east central Pennsylvania. Even in southeastern Pennsylvania, there were a couple of showers earlier this morning. Certainly nothing significant. All that's pulling away. Mostly cloudy for the remainder of the morning, and then some brightening in the afternoon. Let's now push forward here. We'll push forward in 6-hour increments. Here's the forecast map for this evening. By this time, cold frontal system working its way through the region here from the north to the south, and just a tremendous high pressure system, a cold Arctic high settling in across south central Canada by early tonight, and a strong push of air from the north to the south across the Great Lakes. Let's keep pushing forward. And here we go. By tomorrow morning, just a very impressive cold air advection look to this weather map here. Strong winds out of the north to northwest on Wednesday morning. Arctic air flooding into the region. High temperatures tomorrow will struggle to reach 40 degrees in many parts of the I-95 corridor. The normal high right now for Philly, for example, is around 53 degrees, so we'll be some 15 degrees below normal, and wind chills will be even lower than the actual air temperature. Again, a very strong Arctic high. Let's keep pushing forward. Here by tomorrow night, Wednesday night, that Arctic high pressing eastward almost over the northeastern U.S. This will cause some winds to die down late tomorrow night, and as a result, temperatures could really drop overnight Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. Expect some teens in Philadelphia, the suburbs of Philly, New York City, maybe 20 degrees down across the D.C. metro region by early Thursday morning. A very cold night coming tomorrow night into early Thursday morning as this Arctic high settles overhead. Let's keep pushing forward. By Thursday morning, that high is, in fact, right on top of the Mid-Atlantic region. Much less windy on Thursday compared to what is expected tomorrow, but still quite cold. High temperatures, perhaps in the low to mid-40s on Thursday, still well below normal for this time of the year. Now, as we push towards the latter part of the week, that high starts to move off the East Coast, and here we are by Friday morning. Southwesterly winds are starting to kick up in the Ohio Valley, transferring towards the East Coast in the latter part of the day on Friday. So we'll have a rebound in temperatures on Friday, probably highs generally in the 50s across the I-95 corridor, following the 40s on Thursday. Let's keep pushing forward. Some rain is likely north of the Mason-Dixon line during Friday afternoon or so. And then I just wanted to push finally, ending with Saturday morning right here We have a potential for a very warm day on Saturday morning. That first Arctic high well off the coast. It looks like Saturday will be a downright warm day. High temperatures well up in the 60s, perhaps touching 70 degrees in some parts of the I-95 corridor. So again, very cold on Wednesday. Still cold, not as windy on Thursday. A rebound in temperatures on Friday, and then downright warm on Saturday. However, notice another Arctic high headed towards southeastern Canada for the latter part of the weekend. That will influence our weather here on Sunday and Monday. We'll turn colder once again. Looks like that could be accompanied by some rainfall as we close out the weekend. So kind of an up and down temperature pattern over the next several days. The big story, an Arctic blast arrives tonight, Wednesday and Thursday. Very cold for this time of the year. That's it for now. For VencoreWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.